Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another edition of Ipswich Town Transfer Talk. I'm joined by good old Stuart Watson as we talk about all things Ipswich Town transfer news and all that sort of stuff. Stu, it's been all about departures this week. Of course, there's been other links of potential signings, but let's talk about departures. The big one that has been announced today: Jack Lancaster has joined Cambridge United. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he signed a 2-year deal with Cambridge United for an undisclosed fee. So we're still trying to work out quite how much money Ipswich Town got for him. He still had essentially 2 years left on his Ipswich Town contract if you take into account that 12-month extension option. So this will be another one that I think fans may be split on. Homegrown player, someone that there was a lot of excitement around when he first burst on the scene. Obviously made his championship debut at the age of 18. Scored that goal against Millwall around the turn of the year. And everyone had really high hopes for Jack, but obviously injuries have kind of slowed his progress really twice. He's had surgeries on his back, and back injuries can lead to subsequent other issues as well. So he had a big chunk of his early part of his career wiped out with those injuries, just started to come back into it in the last sort of year, 18 months, but found game time limited last year. And ultimately, Paul Cook has decided that he is one of these army of players that can move on this summer.
And the other player is, of course, Ollie Hawkins, who left the club earlier in the week to go to Mansfield Town in League Two. Your thoughts on that one? Are not a shock either.
No, it's 1 year at the club. You know, you've had him, Cornell, and Stephen Ward were all announced on the same day last summer, and all have gone 1 year later. Ollie Hawkins, I don't think that out-and-out target man type is what Paul Cook's looking for. So no huge surprise there that he's moved on. And like so many of the others, he's dropped down a league having left Ipswich Town. So that leaves the striker options increasingly slim at the moment. Norwood is probably about the only one that you can see being part of the squad come the big kickoff at the start of August.
And some fans are panicking, but don't panic. We'll wait and see what happens. But let's talk about the potential ins. There's been a few links already. Let's talk about one man who could be in the door. Whenever you're watching this, it really could have been confirmed. But Riki Harper is the man that's been on a lot of Town fans' lips the last few weeks. More update on this one.
Yeah, we're recording this the middle of Friday afternoon. There's every chance that by the time people watch this, as you say, he could have been announced. This is a deal that's been done for 2-3 weeks now. Signed, agreed a deal with the player, agreed a deal with West Brom. We understand it's around a £1 million, £500,000 mark with the potential to rise to £1 million. And speaking to people who follow West Brom, they're surprised that A, they're letting him go for that amount of money, and B, that he'll be dropping down to League One. This will be seen as a real coup for Ipswich Town. He is dynamic, energetic, box-to-box, someone who will play in the base of that sort of 4-2-3-1 system, but drive Ipswich Town up the pitch and make them that more dynamic team that Paul Cook is looking for. So hopefully that gets signed, sealed, delivered soon, because it's 19 players out the door thus far and only 2 in. So understandably, people are getting a little bit jittery. The players are back for pre-season training tomorrow. Obviously, Paul Cook's named his 2 different squads for those, and there's only 11 players for the first team squad as it stands. So fair bit of time to go yet before the big kickoff on August 7th. But I just think one or two signings might just calm the nerves of the fan base.
Definitely, I'm excited about the Harper deal. I'm a big fan of him. I've not watched him as much as say West Brom fans, but I'm excited to see that get confirmed. Let's talk about goalkeepers then, Stu. There's been 2 goalkeepers linked: Benjamin Seacrest from Dundee United and Ben Amos from Charlton. What's the update on those 2?
Well, our understanding is those are 2 of the sort of prime targets for the goalkeeper position this summer, especially Seacrest. I think that's the one that's most advanced there. I think there's some negotiations going on with Dundee United over fee at the moment. Scottish reports suggesting that that's around the £350,000 mark. He's a big 6'5" I think goalkeeper who's done really well up in the SPL. There was linked to Celtic back in January. So again, I think that would be seen as a a significant signing for a League One club if Ipswich can get that one over the line. And Ben Amos is a goalkeeper who came through the ranks at Manchester United, plenty of experience across the Football League, and was Charlton's #1 goalkeeper last year. So if Ipswich are to sign 2 goalkeepers, which I think they probably will, you would imagine that would spell the end for Thomas Holy, who, as it stands, will be reporting for first team duty. But I think it's pretty clear that Paul Cook wants to completely change his goalkeepers next season.
Definitely. And you mentioned about strikers. James Norwood currently is the only recognisable striker that we have. Town, of course, been linked to Birmingham striker Sam Cosgrove. A loan deal possible here. What's the update on this one?
Yeah, he's a player that scored loads of goals for Aberdeen, north of the border. Got a big move to Birmingham in January, £2 million, so a significant fee for him, but just didn't really get a huge amount of game time for Birmingham in the second half of the season. They obviously were struggling at the bottom end of the table. They changed managers. Lee Bowyer came in, and Sam Cosgrove looks like he might be out of the picture there. So you would assume that would be a loan deal given the fee that he went for in January, but I don't know that for a fact, whether Ipswich can even try and do something permanently. But he is one of several strikers on the list for Ipswich Town at the moment. We know that Charlie Wyke at Sunderland is one that they've looked at and spoken about. Likewise, Colby Bishop at Accrington as well. So plenty of strikers on that list. I imagine they may even get more than one striker, given that I think Caden Jackson will be one that could follow out the door as well. So watch this space on that one. I know everyone's most excited about getting a striker in the door.
That is the most sexy of the sexiest stuff in it, a striker as a signing. And the final name that linked, of course, is Michael Jacobs of Portsmouth. Of course, a man that Paul Cook knows very well during his time at Wigan. What's the update on him? Of course, the potential deal is because of injuries currently been suffering.
Yeah, Portsmouth News broke this story that Ipswich are having a very close look at Michael Jacobs at the moment. Our understanding is that is the case. As you say, a player that Paul Cook knows really well from his time at Wigan. Plenty of goals and assists when Wigan were promoted from League One under Paul Cook. And the issue here is that he struggled with a few injuries last season. Hamstring, knee, limited his time on the pitch for Portsmouth. When he did play, Portsmouth tended to win. I think they won something like 10 of the 12 games that Michael Jacobs started last season. So I think even at the age of 29, Ipswich should be getting a good player. Clearly, they need some wingers in the building. They need players across the whole pitch at the moment, but wingers, with Gwion Edwards moving on, is another area that they need to strengthen. So he'd bring experience. He'd be a player that Paul Cook trusts. We might just have to bide our time on this one. They might just be waiting to see how he kind of reports back in pre-season and see what the fitness situation is before they take the plunge.
Yeah, wait and see on that. And sort of the final name to talk about is, of course, Mark McGuinness, formerly a Town loanee from Arsenal. He's joined Cardiff United on a permanent deal. Joined up with Mick McCarthy, of course. Very much know a lot of connections there with Town. What you got to say about that one?
Yeah, Cardiff City, Ross. Yeah, he's gone to Cardiff. I think maybe some surprise from Ipswich fans that he's moved up a division from League One to the Championship. It was a learning curve for Mark, wasn't it, on loan for Ipswich last season? Probably not helped by the fact that he was kind of partnering Luke Wolfenden in a fairly sort of green centre-back partnership for Ipswich Town. But I think everyone's seen the attributes that Mark McGuinness has got. He's brave, he heads it, he loves to defend, and he's got a bit of quality on the ball as well. We saw that on the odd occasion where he drove out from the back. So Mick McCarthy obviously will have known him during his and Terry Connor's time in charge of Ireland as well. Dave Bowman has moved across. The former Ipswich chief scout has been reunited with Mick there. So I'm sure he's played a role in ultimately Mark McGuinness becoming a permanent Cardiff player for a fee of around 200,000, which if Mark McGuinness develops the way that he can, that could be a real snip for them going forwards.
Definitely. Well, Stu, it's been a pleasure. A lot of names to talk about. More departures than current permanent signings, but I'm sure it's going to be a busy few weeks at the club because they need some more names. Your final say on everything. Are you excited for these new signings?
Yeah. Obviously, I think there'll be more departures to come. 19 out, and I think there will be more to come. And until those first few start coming through the door, I think there will just be a little bit of nerves and uncertainty amongst the fans. But ultimately, I think most people are trusting the process at the moment, trusting in Mark Ashton and the new owners to deliver those fresh faces for Paul Cook. And that's when the excitement will really start to build. We've had the fixtures out this week, the players back at pre-season tomorrow. The friendlies will start before we know it. And we go again, and hopefully it can be exciting times.
Definitely bring on Dartford away in pre-season, the first one for the boys to play. Thanks again for joining me, Stu. Thank you all for watching another edition of Ipswich Town Transfer Talk. We're back next week to bring you some more transfer news. Bye-bye for now.